These are problems 18 and 19 from the Chapter 8, Section 1 practice review. Number 18 reads, write the polynomial equation in standard form that has complex roots at 4 plus I and 4 minus I. All right, so we know that we've got two roots, and we're writing the equation of a polynomial in standard form. So our roots, x equals 4 plus I, and x equals 4 minus I. So we've learned about three different methods for solving this. One is to turn them both into factors and multiply it together. We've also learned the sums and differences. So actually, let me list these out. So turn into factors, and then multiply. Where'd everything go? There it is. Second option there was our sums and products method. And the third one was working backwards. So I'll try to demonstrate a couple of the different methods here just so you can check it out and see which one you like best if you forgot how to do them. So if we're going to turn them into factors, this is the one that's the longest, right? We got to move everything over to the same side with the x. So we'd have x minus 4 minus I is equal to 0. So our factor here is x minus 4 minus I. And then we do the same thing with the other root, subtract it over, so we have x minus 4, and this one would be a plus I equals 0. So you have x minus 4 plus I. Now, if you want to multiply those two factors together, right, this is where you would use a 3 by 3 area model. So we'd say x minus 4 minus I and x minus 4 plus I. And let's just go ahead and multiply them together. We've got x squared, negative 4x. We have xi. Here we have another negative 4x, a positive 16, a negative 4i. We have a negative xi. We have a positive 4i, and then we have negative I squared, right, which is actually the same thing as positive 1. And remember, there's always a couple here that end up canceling out. So our equation that we end up with here will be y is equal to, we'd have an x squared, we'd have minus 8x, and then 16 plus 1 gives us 17. And this is our polynomial function right here. So that's one of the methods. If you wanted to do the sums and products, right, all I ask is that you write down sums and products so I know that's what you're doing, or at least S and P. So the sum of 4 plus I plus 4 minus I is going to be 8. And the product of 4 plus I times 4 minus I gives you 16. And then you'd have minus 4i and plus 4i, and then minus I squared, which gives you 17. And then remember, you're just going to take it and you're going to put your x squared. You're going to take the opposite of the sum. So if it's a positive 8 is the sum, this would say minus 8x, and then your product at the end, plus 17. All right, and I'll demonstrate the working backwards method when I do 19. So 19 says, write the polynomial equation in standard form that has complex roots at 3 plus 4i and 3 minus 4i. All right, so to do that third method here, right now I know that x equals 3 plus or minus 4i, right? If I wanted to write it as one statement. So remember, this is the working backwards method. I'm going to go ahead and move the real number over here with the x. So I have x minus 3 is equal to positive or negative 4i. And then remember, the best way to get rid of an I is to square. So I'm going to square both sides. We square the x minus 3, we're going to have x squared minus 6x plus 9. On the right side, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, those will end up both being positive when you square it. 4 times 4 is 16, and I times I is I squared. So this is going to end up equaling a negative 16. Our last step then would be just to add 16 across. And we have x squared minus 6x plus 25 is equal to 0. And if you want to write it out in your answer as y equals, you can go ahead and do that. That would be our answer. Now you're feel free to use either of the other methods there, but I just wanted to make sure I demonstrated each of them in case you wanted to be able to use any of those. All right, so that's problems 18 and 19 from the Chapter 8, Section 1 review packet. If you have additional questions, please make sure you reach out.